for the people who don't know you, who are you?
Yes, I am Parker Schultz. Grew up in West Bend, Wisconsin, also known as Social Cig in the Milwaukee music scene.
What kind of music does Social Cig make?
I call it Midwest indie skate rock, indie rock, sort of adjacent music.
How'd you come to that? Like, what spoke to you about that genre? I'm sure you were probably listening to a lot of indie music when you were a kid.
Oh yeah, I was in a band in high school with my older brother and two of our buddies, and it was basically a FM 1021 cover band, so like Weezer, Blink-182, Green Day, all those bands are my faves growing up, so that definitely influenced like my rock sort of sound on guitar.
And then were you always playing guitar, or were you always skating too?
Yeah, skating, snowboarding, wakeboarding. Our band in high school was called Borderline because we did all like the border sports.
Nice.
So yeah, grew up skating, still skate to this day.
What is the most impressive trick you can do on a skateboard?
My favorite is fakie big spin. Like most complicated would be a fakie big spin front board. On a rail.
Could
so
you
like
stomp
big
that in one try, or would you need a couple?
I might need a couple tries, yeah. Otherwise, fakie big flip.
Okay.
Is my bread and butter. That's fun with it.
I skate. I go to the park once a quarter, maybe, just to keep up the skills, so I can always know I can carve a bowl. I can still kick flip.
Right, when someone's chirping, do a kick flip, you can do it.
Yeah. Because if I'm just riding my skateboard to get to a friend's house, somebody yells, "Do a kick flip!" I need to be able to do it. Yeah, because I don't want to be that guy. Say, no, I can't. Or the shoes, you know. It's just like if somebody says it, you gotta do a
come
kick
prepared
flip.
for sure.
You gotta come prepared, man. All right, so who would you say like you make music for? Like, who's your audience that you're trying to reach?
It depends. I feel like I go through different waves. Usually it's from the start, it was kind of for myself. As I was saying, I was in a band and then we broke up because I was the younger guy, and then I was writing just kind of solo music for a while. I did a talent show in high school. I bombed. In my head, I bombed. And then ever since that traumatic incident, I kind of locked myself away in my basement just writing. I didn't want to show anybody my music. So I kind of just would write for myself originally. Then I would kind of show my friends in college, and just surrounded by some really great people that would convince me to be like, you got to start sharing this out. Like, we really like your stuff. And so that was the whole journey. And now it's kind of like for myself and whatever's fun. Sometimes I'll write songs that I think will be really fun to play live. But lyrics-wise, I like to just draw from my just whatever's going on in my life at the time. So I like to think of my albums. I have 4 albums out right now as chapters of my life, of what's going on. So I can look back and kind of feel what I was going through at that time. So, yeah.
All right, so you have 4 albums. How many songs do you think you have published?
Probably about 50 songs.
How many songs are not published that are like just will never see the light of day?
Hundreds, man. It's hard to think of a number. I have a lot of like half-written songs too. Sometimes they'll come back, melodies and voice memos galore, like thousands of voice memos on my phone.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right, so explain a little bit about Social Cig, because I know it's a band, but it's really just you, because you have like this rotating cast of people who play with you. Talk to me about like the makeup of Social Cig.
Exactly. Yeah, I started Social Cig in 2019 in my bedroom just recording, and I put out my first album. Played a few shows, but from the get, I always was inspired by kind of solo artists that maybe like Goth Babe, for instance, who it's kind of his project, Griffin, I don't know his name, but he has a band supporting him on stage when playing live. And I've always kind of liked that control of this is my project and this is my way of expressing myself, but also playing with the band is a lot of fun. So it's, since like 2019, it's been a rotating cast of friends on stage. What was the question again?
the makeup of it, because it was like it is such a rotating cast of people that you are Social Cig, and normally people would be like, oh, is this a band? Who else is in it? You have your guitarist, your drummer, or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's really just rotating, people coming in and out all the time based on availability, essentially.
Pretty much, yeah. A lot of other guys in the band, or in Social Cig, are in other bands too. So it's kind of hard to work around schedules, and bands break up sometimes. So unfortunately, so I've always kind of wanted, if I wanted to end Social Cig, I don't have to depend on anyone else's life and decisions. So
why would you want to end Social Cig, or what would make you?
I never would. I don't think I ever would.
Okay.
I think if I were to like some sort of crazy life event, maybe I'll take a break. But I think I'll always be making music under Social Cig. Yeah. So yeah, I listened to like sorry, but I remember recently, and it took a while to like figure out the identity of Social Cig. And recently, like maybe a year or two ago, like listening to a podcast with Bon Iver, Justin Vernon, and he was I liked how he looks at his project. He's like, band, project, idea, concept, like whatever you want to call it. Like whatever it is at that time is what it is. So I kind of like that looseness of it. Like for a bit, I was like, am I a band? Am I just like a solo project? But I kind of like how he looks at it, like it's not that deep. So yeah.
It's just whatever it is at that moment. How often, or how many instruments do you play?
Well, like playing well, I play guitar the best. Piano, I started playing piano when I was younger, but I just have a small base of that, and then bass guitar, pretty much.
So are you arranging all these songs too? Like, do you have like drum set that you kind of like mess around with to see like, okay, does this sound good? Is this a good groove?
I've gotten pretty good at MIDI drums, so
yeah,
I'll just be literally hunched over my laptop, just like listening over and over, moving stuff, yeah.
What, like, I know you said you draw inspiration from your life. Is that through hardships? Is that through travel? Is that through love and relationships? What are some of the more specific things?
Yeah, exactly. Like my first album was just kind of like figuring out, I was in college and just kind of navigating like relationships at the time, friendships, and yeah, that was just parties in college and just the life of college and all that. My second album was like kind of my COVID baby. The pandemic happened, so I just locked away at writing, and I went through a heartbreak at the time, so that's kind of like my heartbreak, very emo album. Third one is kind of post COVID, starting to play shows again. I got more live drums on that album, and that one's called Cheesehead, and that one's a lot of fun. That has a lot of songs that are just fun to play live, and kind of like navigating the relationships and friendships post-college and just kind of figuring out like what do we do, and
yeah, life as an adult, man, right?
Yeah, exactly. People moving away and just trying to keep in touch with friends, and then after I put that album out, I really wanted to hit the road hard and try to play outside of Milwaukee and Wisconsin and the Midwest, and didn't have a whole lot of time I wasn't focused on writing songs and recording, so this last winter of 2024, I kind of, or 2025 technically, I took the 3 months off of shows and just buckled down and started writing again, and that's basically my the fourth album that I just put out in September, Patchwork of Road Dog Story, because I drew a lot of inspiration from the road and just kind of seeing the country for the first time, and getting to play shows outside of the Midwest was just such a dream of mine come true, and yeah, a lot of special moments throughout that experience that I kind of drew from.
And it's cool because you're going on these tours, but you're doing a lot of the setup, right? You're the booking manager and everything, right?
I'm my own booking manager, merch manager, tour bus driver.
That's crazy. That's a lot to do.
Yep, a lot of buttons, a lot of hats.
How do you manage that while also creating content to promote on social media, while writing songs and everything? How do you find balance?
For sure. It's kind of tough to have a steady, consistent routine, but yeah, and it changes by the week for sure. If I got shows the upcoming weekend, or if I'm going on tour, it's really, yeah, I try to stay consistent with with my notes app and just writing out goals, and a certain schedule I use on Google Docs, and then setting up band practices and set lists, and just making sure it's like running a business in a way, and
100%. I mean, it is a business too, right?
Exactly, yeah. I do
you
this.
said writing goals down on your notes app, so I'm curious. What are those goals? What are your like dreams and aspirations
For
as a
sure.
musician?
Well, 2026 just came, so as you know, it's just a fresh wave of new energy. So I'd like to set some good intentions for the year. And
like what though? Like, are you trying to? What are you trying to do? What are those intentions?
in spring, I would love to, or I'm going to focus on playing a lot of weekend runs, so it's a little bit easier with the band schedule, like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or just Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I really want to try to hit smaller markets in the Midwest, so like Stevens Point, Appleton, Green Bay, La Crosse, Eau Claire, and even down in Illinois, like Bloomington, Normal, get over to Michigan, Kalamazoo, Grand Rapids are really great. Anywhere we can do like within a weekend's reach, just really try to dial in these smaller markets, because I've done stretches out to the East Coast and the West Coast, and those are really big operations. So trying to dial it down and focus on growing like an audience even more in depth in the Midwest is my spring goal. So
it also sounds like a lot of college towns, like a lot of college shows kind of thing. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We just played State College, Pennsylvania, and it was syllabus week for them, so it was kind of like a off weekend, and it was a packed house show, and those are a lot of fun and usually easier to kind of promote. Like just it's a party in itself, so people come out to the show and yeah, really receptive.
You're doing a lot of like, you're well known in the Milwaukee sphere, this Midwest sphere, Wisconsin, and you're playing a lot of shows here. How have you been able to get your name out to the places on the East Coast and the West Coast?
Usually it's the internet, you know, trying to navigate like Facebook ads and stuff, but also word of mouth, and just really kind of going in blind the first time you go to a city out there. I've tried to be consistent in going back to cities I've played in before, and just kind of maybe the first time you're playing to 2 people in a room, but you meet the bands that you play with, you meet the venue, and it's kind of just a building block, you know. So a lot of the times it's playing in front of the local bands draw, and hopefully they dig your stuff, and just making more and more connections, just building naturally, building the email list, building the followers online. And
it's a slow grind,
it's a slog,
dude.
yeah.
It really is, and it's like, it's late hours, it's late nights, it's early mornings.
Oh yeah.
You probably eat so much food on the road, dude, when you're doing these road trips and everything.
And I love it. I really try to embrace it, and like sometimes it's like when you're waking up and doing an 8-hour drive, and it's I don't know, it's just kind of like really digging into the dirt and just enjoying it, because I hope to look back one day and be like, oh, that was rad.
To do this, dude, is not easy. What like keeps you motivated? What keeps you going even when you're like, man, nothing's working out?
I think I'm kind of crazy a little bit, but you know, it's just the drive. I've always had such a crazy drive. My dad is an entrepreneur, so and my parents really inspired me to kind of get after it a lot. But yeah, it's just chasing the dream, I guess, you know, and like I said before, it's just like enjoying the slow grind, but also kind of having these goals that I'm chasing, and checking off goals when you hit them, and yeah.
What's the big dream? Anything you could accomplish, anything in the world. You could play any venue, work with any artist. What's the huge big dream?
I would love to be able to tour the U.S. as a headlining artist, as playing 200 to 400 cap rooms that sell out every single time. Nothing like stadiums or anything, but I wouldn't turn down the opportunity.
Well, that's interesting. You said 200 to 400 cap rooms. I was expecting, I want to go on the stadium tour, global tour, Australia, Denmark, England, but you're like 200 to 400 shows.
I like to adapt, so I'm definitely open to that idea, but right now the dream is to just to get a consistent fan base, you know, so it's sustainable, and building up a team around me that hopefully I can do this independent as long as I can, and really try to make it work as a you know, an independent entity, Social Cig, and meet a lot of cool people and do a lot of cool things.
I love that, dude.
Yeah.
When it comes to the name Social Cig, where did that come from?
So in 2019 I was in college and I was starting to write songs, and I was like, I need a good band name or a good artist name, and for like a year I was just like in my head just grabbing anything and just being like, is this a good band name? And one day at work, I was working the Boss Vans at UW Milwaukee, and shout out my friend Ryan. Rewind a little bit. At my college house, I lived with 5 guys, and on our balcony, we had a balcony, and we had this big bag of tobacco in our house, and then these little rolls of filtered tube cigarettes, and we called them the Social Cigs because none of us really smoked cigarettes, but every time we had people over at parties, we would just sit around the table and stuff the tobacco in, and we called them Social Cigs because they were only social. And so, and then I was at work around the same time, and my friend Ryan was, she came in and she's like, I had the craziest night ever. I just smoked this Social cigarette with Young the Giant at Summerfest. And at that moment I was like, Social Cig. And I looked it up on Instagram and Googled it to make sure it wasn't taken. And immediately from there, I was like, this checks all the boxes. I wanted something that tells a story. It's like a good vibe. It connects with people when you hear just the phrase, and just the marketing brain in me.
I mean, it's definitely like ear catching. I was gonna say eye catching, but like when you hear it, you're like Social Cig. And it has like a gritty grunginess to it, and it does tell a story. Like a Social Cig is a cig that you're hanging out with your friends, or maybe you're passing it around, whatever it is. There's been a lot of people who've shared that Social Cig at parties outside of bars.
For sure. There's something ritualistic about like sharing a conversation, and I've had a lot of deep human conversations over a Social Cig, and maybe there's something disarming about sharing a cigarette with somebody, and something very human about it that I just love.
Does that have anything to do with your sweatshirt Old Smoky, or is that
a little bit? we were through the Smoky Mountains, and actually, very crazy you bring that up. My friend Ryan, who said that about Social Cig, she moved to Tennessee, and she works at the Old Smoky distillery, and so we were touring through. We stayed with her, and she gave us a tour of the Old Smoky distillery, and I bought this.
I gotta rock this.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so you put out an album in October?
September.
September. The album. When was the album release party?
It was September 12th.
And then it was at Turner Hall. How cool did that feel to play this show? Your album's out, and you see a packed audience. How does that feel?
Amazing, man. Just kind of sharing it with all the people that were working on the album, and shout out Jake Beanboy Henbest, who is my audio engineer. He mixes and masters all my stuff, and he actually was running sound. He works at Pabst Theater Group, so he was running sound for it. And a lot of work went into that just to get that show, the production. We built a backyard basically on the show. On the stage, and the idea was to share a Social cigarette with the crowd and just being like in a Midwestern backyard setting. So we do this bit where we have pool noodles that I make into giant cigarettes, and we threw them into the crowd towards the end, and it's just a lot of fun. We like to have fun on our live shows.
Do you, after the shows, do you go out and like say hi to the fans or anything?
Sure.
I'm sure. Okay, you got your homies down there. I know that for sure. Maybe you got some parents, friends, or anything. Does anybody surprising come to your shows, like an old third grade teacher or something?
Yeah,
Really?
definitely. Like my old guitar teacher came to a show once, and he was really stoked about it. And that Turner Hall show, there was a girl that was like, "Do you recognize me?" And I'm like,
Nah. That's a tough one.
Yeah, I was like, honestly, no. She's like, it was basically my brother, or my buddy's younger sister that came out to the show, and that was a crazy, like, what the heck?
Yeah, like, you're here? Wow, okay.
Yeah, but my parents come to every show, and they have a fun group of friends that come out to every show. So they also kind of get it, like, when I'm kind of just being swarmed by people, and I had a friend that came in from Florida to that one, and she came over with her husband for like coffee the next day, just so we could finally just kind of
to talk.
Actually catch up, you know, because at the shows it's just
you can't, there's so many people.
Yeah, for sure. Adrenaline's just pumping.
So what do you make of the Milwaukee indie music scene? Is it healthy right now? Is it blown up? What would you say?
For sure. I feel like it's I had a really good pulse on it, like when I was more active playing like any Milwaukee show I could get. But I try to keep in touch with like some younger cats coming up in the scene, and there's some really cool ones that that I have an eye on, mostly through the internet. I'm kind of keeping tabs on. For instance, like Bovey, Adam Blackwood, and some others. I'm trying to think. But yeah, I try to go to shows when I can, but also when I'm doing shows so much, it's kind of like not my, I don't really go to shows in my free time.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'll work events at Falcon Bowl. I'll be behind the bar for some shows that they throw in the Nest, and that's a really fun way to like be in the scene. Also like, just to kind of be involved in curating and like seeing new bands and stuff. So.
Because people are saying, you know, especially over the past like 2 years, Milwaukee music when it comes to the rap scene is really blown up, is really taking off, is starting to find footing outside of Wisconsin. Do you see that with the local indie scene here, or is it like comparing two different things?
It's tough. Like a lot of bands sometimes will move to Chicago and trying to do that. People will move out of Milwaukee. I've known some people in the just kind of playing out in Milwaukee for a while, and sometimes bands break up. It's just it's just the reality of it. Yeah, there's definitely a solid scene with the college just being here, like college, just like younger bands kind of forming and whatnot. But yeah, I would love to see like more industry kind of be attracted to Milwaukee as like a music scene. I feel like that doesn't really exist a lot. I feel like there's not a whole lot of eyeballs on Milwaukee, but there's a lot of great music. So.
Well, it's tough because a lot of people, they get a little bit of momentum and then they choose to go to Chicago, LA, New York, right? Which is difficult for, you know, to keep that Milwaukee like vibe, right?
For sure.
Oh, I just had something good.
Which I've always felt like it's, for me, like I love Milwaukee. I think I'll live here forever. It's always been almost for sure a positive being like a bigger fish in a smaller pond, whether compared to like moving to LA or Nashville, New York, you're like surrounded by so many people trying to do the same thing. So standing out in Milwaukee, like when a touring band comes through, you get like a better chance at an opportunity to open for that touring band or play Pabst Theater